Dear people watching and listening, Assalamu alaikum. Kindly like and share this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please support my channel by contributing to my Patreon account so that I can continue making the audiobook series. Start of part 1 of chapter 24. The High Priestess. In Arabic, the Kahin means one who can foretell the future. A diviner who has knowledge of events separated from him in time and space, who knows of things through sources other than the senses. He has a special gift of knowledge through means which would now be classified as extrasensory. It was believed in olden times that a Kahin received revelations, and in this matter he was like a prophet, except that his ethical direction was all wrong. A prophet received his revelations from God, while a Kahin received his from Satan. But he did have this unusual gift. Kahin also means a priest, with Kahina, female of Kahin, being a priestess. This lady living in the Orus Mountains was a Kahina. She had these uncanny powers to a remarkable degree, being both clairvoyant and telepathic, and was also a priestess, but more than an ordinary priestess. She was a spiritual leader of the Berbers, and since she combined this spiritual position with the political authority of a queen, it would be more accurate to refer to her as High Priestess. Muslim historians call her the Kahina. She was Duhya bint Tabta bin Naiqan of the clan of Jarawa. The Jarawa were a princely clan of the very large tribe of Zannata, part of which lived in the Maghrib and had saved Uqba by falling upon his enemies. This lady ruled as queen of the Jarawa in the Orus Mountains, that is the Jabal Orus, and was the high priestess generally of all Berbers. She also had a fortress of Al-Jam, 40 miles south of Susa, in which many years before she had been besieged by her enemies but had survived and won. She was an old woman, at least middle-aged, who had been queen at this time for 30 years, but was obviously a woman of great personality and vigor, and as a prophetess in her tribe, was held in high veneration by all Berber tribes of Africa and the Maghrib. She had 2 sons, the father of one of whom was a Berber, and father of the other a Greek. She cared very deeply for her sons and was anxious that they should follow in her footsteps as the leaders of the tribe. After the death of Kusaila, all Berbers accepted Duhya as the great chieftainess of the Berber nation, and all became her followers, which made her a powerful monarch. Armed with spiritual domination over the nation, and acknowledged politically as the ruler of the nation, she exercised total power over the Berbers. The Kahina was indeed a formidable woman. This, then, was the Kahina, the high priestess, queen of the Berbers, about whom the people of Kairouan had told Hassan bin Noman. If he could kill her, the West would be his. He determined to kill her, and with this aim in view, marched with his army from Kairouan in the direction of the Orus Mountains. This was in about the very end of 74 Hijri, the spring of 694 AD. His movement was slow and methodical, as it had to be, because he commanded a large, well-equipped army. The movement of Hassan's army had hardly begun when fast messengers rode across the hills and valleys to inform the high priestess of the Muslim movement, its strength and apparent direction. The high priestess ordered her forces out for battle. She led an army beyond counting to Barqa, which uqbabinnafe had conquered as the first objective of his campaign of the Maghrib. Believing that Hassan wanted to get to Barqa and fortify himself in it against her, she drove all the Romans out of the city and demolished its fortifications, making it indefensible. She was being very aggressive. She wanted battle in the open, which was risky business considering that the Muslims had won every battle in which their enemies had come out of their defenses and fought in the open. However, After demolishing the fortifications of Barqa, she marched towards Kairouan, planning to meet her enemy halfway and fight a great battle. She was completely sure of herself, and her men had fanatical faith in her. Hassan was just as sure of himself and asked for nothing better than to meet the high priestess in the open. He marched on until he got to the valley of Miskiana. Here, getting intelligence that the Berbers were on the move, he went into camp. A day or two later, the high priestess also arrived in the valley of Miskiana in the evening and went into camp not far from the Muslims. The Muslim camp was to the south and upstream, the Berber camp to the north and downstream. Both sides had established screens of cavalry in front of their camps to observe the other side and give immediate protection against surprise moves. When the high priestess arrived in the valley and established her camp, the Berber cavalry showed aggressive designs and wanted a trial of strength with the Muslim cavalry. But Hassan ordered his horsemen to avoid an engagement while still holding on to their position. Thus a premature clash was avoided. The troopers of both the screens spent the night in their saddles. On the following day was fought one of the fiercest battles between the Muslims and the Berbers, a battle the Muslims thought they had never seen the like of before. It began in the morning and increased in ferocity as the day wore on. It raged like a terrible storm till the evening, when a decision was gained. The Muslims were thoroughly defeated. There was frightful slaughter in this battle, and towards the end it was a slaughter of Muslims by Berbers. The high priestess showed no mercy. She took bloody revenge for all the Berber bloodshed by the Muslims in previous battles. Towards evening, Hassan broke contact and retreated, leaving a large number of Muslim dead on the battlefield. The part of the valley of Miskiana where this battle was fought became known for some odd reason as Wadiul Azara, Valley of Virgins. Reorganizing his defeated army, Hassan carried out a steady and orderly withdrawal towards the east. The high priestess followed. This was not a pursuit but a follow-up of a withdrawal, carried out at a respectful distance. Even after their defeat, the Muslims were held in awe by the Berbers, and the lady did not wish to press her luck. The retreat and follow-up went on till the Muslims had got beyond Qabis, that is, Gabes. It was a shameful defeat. It was the only defeat suffered by the Muslims at the hands of the Berbers in a large-scale battle, and it was a very bloody one. The image of Arab military superiority suffered a serious setback, and Hassan bin Nu'man earned the unenviable distinction of being the first Muslim commander to be defeated and driven from the battlefield by a lady general. In this battle, 80 Muslims were captured by the Berbers. The high priestess was very kind to them and sent them all back to Hassan, except for one whom she retained with her. This was a fine young man named Khalid bin Yazid of the Bani Qas, whom she adopted as her son. "I have not seen a man more handsome than you or more valiant," she said to him. "You will be a brother to my sons." One of the early sources gives an incredible account of how she proffered her breast to him to suck, to make a son of him formally, and apparently, in the presence of her two sons, he obliged. Then she declared, "Now you are brothers." Meanwhile, Hassan got to Tripoli. From here he wrote to Abdul Malik about what had happened, and explained, "There is no limit to the people of the Maghrib. Their numbers will never end. When one tribe is destroyed, another rises after it." Having dispatched a fast messenger to Damascus with his letter, Hassan continued a steady march to the east until he had arrived at Barqa, where he stopped. Some days later, he received the orders of the Caliph to stay where he was and await further instructions. He remained at Barqa as governor of Libya, awaiting instructions and reinforcements. He would wait 5 years before getting them. During those 5 years, The high priestess, now the undisputed sovereign of the Berbers, played havoc with her realm. End of part 1 of chapter 24.